Duel Review is brought to you by NexusDigitalComics.com. On today's Duel Review, it's SLC Punk. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it.
Ka-chow! Welcome to Friday the 13th of January. We're doing SLC Punk.
Nothing to be afraid of. I think I was born on the Friday the 13th. Yes, it is 1999.
Yes.
And it stars Matthew Lillard, and that's the reason I watched it, because he was hot at the time. You know, we had Scream, where he was in Scream.
Yes, he was Ryan Reynolds before he was Ryan Reynolds.
He was very good in that. And, he's had some other good roles. I'm not including the friggin' Scooby-Doo thing. Anyway.
Can't win them all.
This is a great film. SLC Punk is a really great film. It's probably one of my top. I mean, it's definitely kind of an indie film with a flavor. And,
yeah.
You know, if you're any interest in the punk kind of thing, that's kind of fun because it's during the Reagan era, so it's during, like, the Cold War era kind of thing. And they live in Salt Lake City. That's the SLC in SLC Punk.
Oh, that makes sense now.
Yeah. And so you have... What do they call them? What do they call them? They call the Mormons something, like the mod, not the mods. They call them anyway. They have these warring factions, right? They have like the jocks, and they have the punk scrabbly guys. Mm-hmm. They like the pick fights, whatever. And then they have the Mormons, and they're all kind of got these cliques and gangs and whatever. SLC Punk, it's definitely, you know, they both want to be rebels. It's basically Matthew Lillard's character, which is Steve-O, and Heroin Bob, which is his buddy that they hang out, and they like rent an apartment, which is just a dive, and just kind of hang out and cause trouble.
I thought it was like I thought they were like squatters somewhere.
Kind of, yeah.
It feels like that.
So, you know, they're proud of their punk lifestyle, but Utah is dry, so they have to like drive out of state to get alcohol and stuff like that. But there are plenty of drugs around, and it's kind of interesting to see this interplay of the warring factions. You know, there's like these moments where they say, okay, you know, these are the mods and this is what happens with them, and they have like this little fight scene kind of thing. And it's just kind of fun to see that. But Steve-O, he's like this rebellious punk or whatever. He rebels against his wealthy father, and he has this huge blue hair mohawk at some point.
Yes.
Which is awesome. It's just awesome. And he's like, come on, give it to the man. He's like ultra punk, like the stereotype of punk.
Yeah.
And then he's like, that's when I was a child. Now he's just kind of a waste of life, but he's proud of, you know, the choices he's made, whatever. And it's just this slice of life, and it's kind of hard to explain when I think about it. It really is kind of hard to explain. It's just so worth a watch.
Well, here's a fun fact. The only person I know who was actually a punk, who was in the punk era, had a mohawk, all that stuff. Sorry. He does not care for this movie. I mean, well, it's not that he doesn't care for it, he just didn't.
Why?
I couldn't tell you.
Possibly it says something that's true that he doesn't like, or possibly it's not true at all. I don't know. But it's just, you know, I'm not saying that it educates you about being punk.
Right.
It's just...
I happen to like this film mostly because it deals a lot with I guess the tropes of drug abuse and, you know, living a lifestyle that's off.
Yeah, it does have some heavy-handed stuff in it. Well, not heavy-handed necessarily, but heavy stuff in it. Heroin Bob... he is going through a drug, you know, whatever, experience, and he punches some glass. You know, there's more to it than that. He's, like, interested in love and whatever.
Right.
He punches some glass, and then he doesn't tell anybody that he cut himself, and it gets, like, super infected, and they have to commit him to the hospital, and he's just going crazy. And then they have another friend that, like, fried his brain on drugs, and so he's just wandering the streets, and doesn't know anybody. It's just... Yeah, it is kind of this, I'm a punk because I chose to be, but now I have to deal with the consequences of being a punk. But it's still done in a way, it doesn't really say don't be a punk.
Right.
In fact, at the end, he's like in a different situation. Like his father's always trying to get him to like grow up and come to work and all that stuff. And so at the end he kind of does that, but it's just kind of, you can tell that he's still...
What do you think about the parents? Because they're very, you know, I guess they're product of Woodstock, and they're like, okay, whatever, you know, son, I'm not going to tell you what to do.
They just figure it's a phase kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not like they're being... What I'm trying to say is, it's almost like the film is trying to say that if you let your kids, you know, just do what they want, like these parents did. You know, oh, I can't talk. You know, I can't be hypocritical. So you do what you're going to do because I've done some pretty bad things in my life. So just do it. If you let your kids just go, they're going to end up, you know, squatting in some house with a drug, you know.
I don't know. I never really saw it that way. I never tried to pull out like the life lesson here. It was just kind of like, this is this dude's story, and possibly it's because I grew up with some friends, and I had some best friends that were really heavily into drugs, and
Right.
and so I'm kind of used to that. Like I stayed out of that, and I see it from a different perspective. Maybe I don't know. I just never saw it as like a. I don't see it as heavy-handed. I mean, maybe that's what. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't either. I never. I always saw it
as
a
character story.
Yeah, I always saw it as a character story as well. But you know, once I started thinking about it, once I've seen it for like the 5th or 6th time, I started wondering things that, you know, you wonder when you see a movie 6 times.
Well, I was going to say that the father is Christopher McDonald, who is in Happy Gilmore as
right.
What's his name?
Shooter McGavin.
Shooter McGavin. So he just got that smug kind of personality. You just want to smack him.
And not in this film.
Well, no, but I mean, it's played by the same character, so instantly you get kind of like why he's rebelled and why he doesn't trust his father.
Yeah, that's very true.
Oh, but there's other issues too. You know, father, you know, the sins of the father kind of thing. So it's just I can't really put into words why I like this film so much. I really do though enjoy it.
Yes.
There's, you know, some strange like drug trippy stuff, which I'm not usually into that. Like even like Train Spotting, I think some of that stuff.
I was actually going to bring up Train Spotting in the.
I think it's kind of stupid.
You didn't like Train Spotting?
But I don't trip on drugs. I don't know what that's like. I don't know. Oh man, that's so awesome. I don't get it.
The only thing I trip on is you know, Nutella. So
yeah.
I don't really know.
Sugar, clearly.
Yeah,
and chili dogs.
I do love chili dogs.
But for some reason, I just think this cuts through that stuff, and it's just a really interesting film.
Would you say that it has a lot to do with your liking Matthew Lillard, or do you think it's just...
Yeah, that has a good portion to do with it. You know, another review that we did a while back was 13 Ghosts.
Yes.
I love him in that, too. He's just got this kind of quirky... He's got good timing, and he's got a comedic delivery. Even in the... I don't know, he seems to soften, like, heavy moments. I don't know, he's, like, drooling, and he's, like, you know, he's got that way about him that it's not funny, but it's unique enough that you buy it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, you know, a lot of times, like, the lies that work are the ones that say it sounds so outrageous, you know what I mean? Like, so his delivery is so odd that it seems real.
That's very true.
Because you're not like, oh, woe is me. You know, you're just acting crazy.
Wow, we are totally breaking down Matthew Lillard here. You're very right.
No, I think he's a great actor.
I'm not saying breaking down in a bad way. I'm saying that we're
dissecting.
We're dissecting his acting methods.
Yeah, you know, it definitely lends to being typecasted, I think, because he does do crazy so well, or rebellious, or whatever.
Yeah,
angst.
I guess. Yeah.
And I can see why they tried to, you know, cast him as Shaggy. But, yeah. CG, Scooby, no, sorry. Yogi Bear, what were you thinking?
You know what? I think he was okay as Shaggy.
Yeah.
You know, if it was a movie just about Shaggy, I think it'd be all right.
Well, yeah, but it has a goofy 3D... Yeah. I don't want to get into that. So, SLC Punk, yeah, please go watch it. It is on Netflix for sure.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, I'm totally going to revisit it.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I love that kid that plays the lost cause that's like asking for change, that has brain fried. I don't know why. His performance is so fun to me. Not fun, but like sad, but powerful and kind of funny, you know? I don't know. Worth a watch.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if it really says anything about the whole punk movement.
But it's Salt Lake City, so that's a really...
different punk scene.
A specific slice of the punk scene. Yeah.
That's very true.
Yeah, and, you know, like, I guess... I don't remember what they call the Mormons, but they are kind of like mods, because they wear, like, the pork pie hats, and, you know, they're very, you know, kind of hipstery.
Yeah.
And, yeah, to see that interplay is interesting. Yeah.
Yep, well...
There's a love interest to play with, and... Yeah.
There is?
Absolutely, and it ends up really...
back to haunt right.
And they listen to some fun punk music and all sorts of stuff. But it's also kind of that feel. Maybe that's why I connect to it. It's like... two buddies, and they used to play Dungeons and Dragons, right?
Oh, yeah,
and then one of them brought a punk tape, and it's like, oh, life has changed, and now we're going down this road together.
That's totally what happened to us.
Yeah, all right. No, we didn't even know each other until like a year ago. Anyway.
Has it been a year?
Probably.
What'd you get me for the anniversary?
No. I got you a Transformer. That's enough. That's enough for like 5 years.
That's very true. Thank you for that. I owe you something, by the way.
Chili dog. All right, that's it. Subscribe to us on YouTube, please. Follow us. Give us support. show it any way we can.
Show it if any way you can. So yeah, if you're going to Emerald City Comic Con, you know, just let me know. I'm trying to get a tally. I want to know.
Leave us comments. We'll comment you back.
Yep.
That's it. We'll see you later.
Bye. Dude,
take your time. See, you never take your time as much as me. So if you miss the first one, then I was good. If I wait.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to go back at our old footages and see if the ones that I make are always the first one.
No, it's not always. No. Sometimes we're like, oh, and then the last one you finally get one. Like, phew. Because it's so much easier when it's like at the episode, add our two scores together, and that's the episode number. It's an easy way to check. Bye. Everything that makes my life easier.
Wasn't there one that we both missed, like, continuously, and we never made it?
Sure. Then I gave you a Another New 52, The Suicide Squad, next week.
I am all out of energy drink.
He sprung a leak.
Oh, wait, that's not...
You're more interesting like that, so just say.
Huh?
Because we have a height difference. On today's Duel review, Nick has deflated. He is short. Somebody help him. Not me. I don't want to help.
Yeah, you like being taller.
I am huge. Look at me. Look at this. It does look like I'm huge and you're tiny. On today's Duel review.
Let me move back a little bit more.
Yeah, that's awesome. On today's Duel review, I shrunk Nick. It's SLP Punk.
SLP Punk.
On today's Duel review, it's SLC Punk. I'm RJ. Let's get to it.
Okay.
I know you're gonna grow. It's weird that you look so small.
Make my monsters grow.
Let's do one normal one just in case that one's stupid.
That one was stupid. I'm not keeping that.
Oh, come on. That was funny. All right, fine. Whatever. On today's Duel... And today's Duel review... It's SLC Pink. Hammer! Jay.
Would you just run a marathon? I'm Nick, okay?
Let's get to.
Yeah, let's get to it. Okay.
Yeah. On today's Duel review, it's SLC Punk. I'm RJ.
And I'm Nick.
Let's get to it. One more time. On today's Duel review.
What? Huh? What?
Move.
What? What happened to her face? Now I gotta know.
Well, you know she's got that big scar.
No, I totally didn't.
Are you kidding me?
I haven't seen her.
She can't even like move that side of her face.
I have not seen her since SNL.
She's always been that way.
The Tina Fey?
Yes.
Wow, she is so attractive. I did not notice a giant hideous scar on her face.
I didn't say it was hideous, but it's definitely apparent. And you must have like the worst resolution screen ever.
Possibly.
She can't even move that side of her face.
Wow. I'm like, wow, Tina Fey, you're very attractive, and if you have something to say, I'm gonna listen. I never noticed a scar on her face ever.
She's very attractive. She just has a huge scar.
I totally did. You know.
Yeah.
Maybe her and Seal hooked up once. Scars are contagious.
Seals?
Seal. Scars are contagious.